Alright, so now that we're done with linked lists, it's time to discuss the next chapter, which is stacks and queues. So, in the previous version of this book, they were chapter 3 and chapter 4, and they've been merged into chapter 4 together. So the first half of the chapter is stacks, and the second half of the chapter is queues. Now, these chapters are going to go by fairly quickly in comparison to chapter 2, mainly because stacks and queues are much easier versions of linked lists. Or at least we're going to learn how to, I'm going to build them as much easier versions of linked lists. So the first video we're going to do is learn about, we're going to go over what the stack is and what its 4 methods are. So the stack only has 4 methods, so it's going to be a very simple data structure. We're going to learn how it's implemented, we're going to learn how to implement it, or we're going to understand how it's implemented. We're going to learn how to implement it in one of 2 ways, either using an array or a linked list. So just like you could implement a array 2 ways. We're also going to use the stack to show what kind of fun things we can actually do with it. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it isn't powerful. After that, we're going to go on to queues, and I'll discuss that then. But we'll do about the same basic thing there. All right? So what is a stack? So the common metaphors that we use for stacks are either Pez dispensers, or stacks of pancakes, or stacks of dishes, right? So basically with this stack data structure, you can only ever access the top of the stack. You can only ever manipulate it through the top of the stack. So with the Pez dispenser, you can, which is, if you don't know what that is, you look it up, but it's a type of candy thing where basically you open the top and you'll get the piece of candy out, and you open the top again and a new piece of candy will come from the top. You can only ever get more candy from the top. You can't reach into the middle of a Pez dispenser, right? Similarly, a stack of pancakes, you're really only, if you're going to be taking pancakes, putting pancakes onto a stack of pancakes or taking pancakes off of a stack of pancakes, you're only ever going to be moving pancakes from either the top of that stack of pancakes, well, no, just that, there's no either about it. You're only ever going to be moving from the top of that pancakes. You're either going to be taking them on, putting them on the stack from the top, or taking them off the stack from the top, right? Otherwise, like if you try taking a piece of a pancake out from the middle of that stack, right, it's just going to collapse and it's going to be a syrupy mess everywhere. Similarly with dishes, right? If you're stacking dishes, you're going to be putting them dishes one on top of the other. You don't try to slide them under or try to slide them in the middle, otherwise you're going to get broken dishes all over the place. You can only put items on top of the stack and take items off the stack. As a result, the top of the stack is the most recent item, and so the last item to go in is the first item to go out. So in other words, the last thing we put on top of the stack is the first out of the stack. So LIFO, last in, first out. And this contrasts with the queue, which is a FIFO data structure, which is first in, first out. So we're learning about the LIFO data structure, last in, first out, and the FIFO. Okay, so that's what the stack is. So let's take a look at the methods. We only have 4 methods, according to Java API. Okay, we only bother dealing with the top of the stack. So there are only a few operations we need to be able to do. We need to be able to check if the stack is empty. We're not even going to keep track of the size of the stack. We are just going to test, have a method that tells us whether it's empty or not. No size. We are going to inspect the top element of the stack, right? We are going to retrieve it. So inspect means we're going to take a look at what the top element actually is. Then we have the 2 manipulations. So we can check if it's empty, we can look at the top thing, and then we can change the top of the stack. The first way we can change it is by popping off the top of the stack. We pop something off, right? So we remove the top of the stack, right? We remove the top item, which gives us a new top, obviously, right? You take off a pancake, you have a new pancake, that's the top. You take off the top dish, there's going to be a new pancake, that's the top dish. Or take off the top dish, there's going to be a new top dish on that stack. And the new way to do it, and the final method is push, where we take an item and put it on top of the stack. So that's called pushing. So empty, we check if it's empty. Peek, we just look, but we don't remove it, it being the top item. Pop, we pop the top item off the stack. And push, we put a new item on top of the stack.